am excited to welcome you to our roadshow highlighting projects here in the Twin Cities. We have Becky Wacker, the Area General Manager for Trane, Stacy Cook, President of Koda Energy, and then Nina Axelson, founder of Grid Catalyst. Energy efficiency is our largest sector, so we're number one for a reason. 75% of these jobs are in energy efficiency, and these range across sectors, so lighting, HVAC, other building controls, but it's a substantial part of our clean energy sector.
When you look at it, it's really important to look at how we're shifting production of electricity and improving our energy efficiency. So when we think about how we produce the energy and then how our buildings use it, there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of large bubbles in here that can help us start to shrink that gap. We want to use more of the electricity. So where the past story has been use less electricity, going forward is going to really be use more electricity, just use it very efficiently. So think about a science museum. There's a lot of people in there. The science museum here has over 700,000 visitors every year. And the outcome here was we designed two 160-ton heat recovery chillers. So absorbing that heat intensity from those servers, those people, the lights, the motors, collecting that heat recovery chiller, and then getting that heat out where the museum most needed it. So as I said, that results in 618 tons of annual CO2 reduction, which is a 16% reduction in their carbon footprint. That's over $300,000 of annual savings and a 65% reduction in their heating costs.
We have a renewed focus at Rahr on sustainability efforts. Obviously, with the construction of Koda, we started providing the thermal energy and electricity to the malt plant and some out to the public grid. Most of our work currently, we're looking at, we started with setting up some sustainability teams across business unit boundaries. They're working at each site on recycling efforts and efficiency efforts. The malt plant here in Shakopee with about 90,000 million BTUs of heat a month, and we can produce up to 500 megawatt hours of electricity using clean biomass fuels. Up in Canada, where we have malt production facilities up there, we're looking at the potential for wind behind the meter, new biomass heat and power system up there, and water reclamation projects. So really, we're just going through every business unit in the Rahr corporate umbrella in North America and working on waste reduction efforts, renewable or carbon neutral energy feeds and inputs into those processes, process efficiency improvements, and potential expansion or equipment additions to help us achieve our goals.
So Grid Catalyst is really the first accelerator that is focused on clean energy, northern climate challenges, and demonstration that is based here in Minnesota. And then as these turn from ideas to businesses to prototypes, that's where you might see more of an accelerator type program where you're looking at how do you take that emerging business and really get it a foothold in the marketplace. But you can also see that we really don't have as much representation here in Minnesota and the Midwest as you do on the coast. And I think we have just as much capability and talent and opportunity here. So it's why we launched Grid Catalyst. It's really hard in a hard tech category to be able to get a foothold in the market. And we all know that people tend to be a little risk averse, sometimes for really good reason, and sometimes because being the first in demonstrating something can be a really challenging position. Another solution that we haven't seen here that just needs a better opportunity to demonstrate what they're capable of doing. We want to set up that process to bring them into the market, to have the right partner to show what they're capable of doing, show investors what they can do. And that is really the foundation of what we're doing as an accelerator. Really excited to have this group of folks working with us, and they will be working with one of the startups in our program here. So there'll be a matchmaking process with these partners And so that's a really exciting part of this, because it shows what our very established leaders can do when they put their hand out to help the folks who are up and coming, and to do this work together. I think that that's going to be really powerful.
The larger companies are doing it for the CO2 reduction and trying to hit some of those sustainability goals that they're holding themselves to. And some of the smaller companies are looking at it more from a dollar saving standpoint. And you know, as they start looking at those different opportunities, it's driving more and more. So as they get those savings, like we showed at the Science Museum of Minnesota, they're able to do further investments in it, and it becomes just a wheel that reinvests in itself. Today's environment is one thing, but looking towards the future, there's a lot of needs out there, and there's a lot of opportunity that we can provide our young people. And as we think about, you know, who's the workforce 20 years from now, they're going to be doing things that we're not even thinking of.
As people are taking more leaps, myself included, and willing to kind of put themselves out there for more impact work, I think that's a really promising thing for our industry, because we are going to attract people that maybe wouldn't have looked at energy and climate as a career in the past. And it's this whole cycle of, there's a lot of money coming into this category in a way that it hasn't in the past. And it's coming in different ways, which is creating new opportunities.
But I think for the workforce of the future, we need to capture these kids when they're in middle school and pique their attention, middle school and high school, so that they can have an idea of what might spark a passion in them before they get into their post-secondary education. I mean, there are many, many different occupations that have great value to society that can be pursued in what we do.
Well, thank you all to my panelists. I think it was an excellent conversation today, and I appreciate your time. And then if you need to get in touch, feel free to reach out. Thank you all for joining.